when Cam Smith on Sunday watching the Masters hit the ball in the water on the par 3 12th.
Yeah.
My whole timeline was like, yeah, bro, like, what do you do? Like, everyone know, like, just a bunch of dudes who just from their couch were reading the wind, and it just cracked me up. It's just, I don't know, man. It just cracks me up. It's like driving. Every person in their car. What the fuck is this guy doing? What are they doing?
Well, I think on that hole specifically, right, it's not that long. So even the average golfer, it's 150 yards, and they just think, why is this so difficult? Yet, for whatever reason, at the Masters, consistently guys hit it in the water. Like I saw Justin Thomas. I just clicked on his scorecard. He doubled that hole. I didn't see the highlights. I would imagine he went in the drink. Guys go in the drink for whatever reason.
What did Cam Smith, quadruple or triple?
Tripled.
So he missed the putt. Yeah, he missed the double.
He missed the double.
I did see.
Well, I think where you get really fucked on that hole, right, is there's a drop zone, but it's really close. So most of the guys like try to go back farther. That's why you see these guys hitting almost back from the tee because they want like a 100-yard shot, not a 40-yard shot.
Right.
So it's already in their head.
Yeah.
And then really you're just hitting the same shot that you just fucked up on. It's just a little less short. That's why guys have consistently double doinked it, right?
I give him a lot of credit for going for it, John. He was down like 4 strokes? It was, or was it 3? Was it 10-7?
I think it might have been 10-6 at the time.
10-6. It was 4 back. I mean, he cost himself a lot of money by not playing it safe. Second place to fifth place is $1 million difference. 1-6 to 6. 1-6-2, I think, to 6.
Yeah, he was playing to win.
So I give him credit, but man,
I think it's easier to stomach. I think a couple years ago, I'd have to go like watch the replay of the exact setup, but Spieth was leading the year Willett won it, and he went in there twice, and then Willett, took the lead. So to me, he didn't have the lead. He was well down. It's not as crazy. I thought the craziest thing that happened today is one of the all-time, and I repeat, all-time blunders in broadcasting with obviously golf. A lot of the golf media complains about it's a tough sport to cover, right? Because you got guys on every hole. It's a tough sport to show on television. It's not like football.
You're saying a lot of the golf media complains about the coverage of golf.
Yeah, I think it's hard. It just can be,
why didn't we see that shot? Why didn't we see that shot?
And I think, and then the purists say it just turns into a highlight show because when you're watching the leaders and they're like, let's go to 18, it's a long putt. You're like, this thing's going in.
Right.
But I think we have to acknowledge it's not like basketball where it's all going on at the same place. Like everyone's all spread out. But for Faldo to go like, oh my God, did you see what just happened? While they're watching someone else, like that never happens in golf.
Back up and explain exactly what happened.
Well, Rory hits the most incredible bunker shot into the hole probably of the weekend. I mean, it's as good of a shot you'll see on any week of golf. It's incredible. And it's Rory McIlroy, so it's extra big. And he's having the day of his life, right? He shot 64, or that was the 64. And then all of a sudden, Faldo kind of comes in out of nowhere. We're kind of taking in this Cam Smith falling apart like, oh my God, Jim, this might be the craziest thing I've ever seen. But they're watching the other players. And you can tell Jim's like,
he goes, I don't want to ruin it, is what Faldo says.
The line. Can you say I don't want to ruin it while you ruin it?
I don't want to ruin it, but that card for your birthday has $300 in it. But I don't want to ruin it. Enjoy the surprise.
Does he get talked to about that, you think, after?
I mean, I would think Nance was, or were they together on the 18, or was Faldo on 17?
I would think they were typically on the tower on 18.
Yeah, Nance would be shooting daggers through him with his eyes, I would think. I mean, that's like, we all acknowledge here that some of this stuff is tape delayed, but it only works if we all kind of treat it the same. If we, treat it the same, we have to. To me, it's similar. It's not the same thing exactly, but we, over the years, the whole thing with the NFL draft and tipping picks, like, what is this? Is this, we got to get the information out as quickly as possible? Or is this a TV show for entertainment? Right. And ultimately, like, my take has always been, it's a TV show for entertainment. Like, let's keep it that, as opposed to like, Schefter's got to get the picks out as quickly as possible. World security depends on knowing just as. Now, I get knowing as fast as possible, because once the information's out, like, you just, it's hard to keep yourself in the dark. Like I've never watched things on DVR without knowing.
I would say the difference of that in golf, like it is just one event, and because the way the TV is set up, it's like a 2-minute delay of the information, so it just kind of gets weird fast, right?
Oh, Jim, wait! I don't want to ruin it, but wait until what you see. And then it's not like they just
he dropped. I got goosebumps. That's the coolest thing I've ever seen. Before he even acknowledged what happened, that's what he said. He said, "I just got goosebumps, Jim."
Yeah, and keep in mind at that point in time, Scotty's at 10 under, and that got Scotty was at 10 under, and that got Rory to 7 under. So it got Rory 3 shots back. It tied the lowest round. Only 7 other people had shot 64 the final round of the Masters. Only 2 guys had done better. Nick Price and Greg Norman shot 63. And Nance actually did a good job of giving it the thing, but it's just when you know what's going to happen before it happens right there. It was brutal. It was killer.
Yeah, it was bad. And it was the highlight of the weekend, I would say. Besides like Scotty winning the green jacket, that moment, and then Colin basically 2 seconds later doing the same thing. Little less, his was less difficult while still being incredible. Rory's was insane, right? He had to hit it up on the side of the green, and then it rolled all the way down. It was crazy.
I mean, I didn't even think of this until you said it while we were talking about it. The fact that Nance was on 18 watching it happen. So it happened in front of Jim, and Jim, who's the director, right? He's the orchestra. He's the guy in charge on air, bit his tongue, clearly was just going to wait and let it play out and give everybody the show. And he got like circumvented by his number 2,
I think it's a fireable fit.
HR on the stream says Jack Nicholson had it written into his movie contracts that nobody could tell him to score the Laker game because he had the game on tape at home.
I was listening to I listened to this Bill Simmons rewatchable pod on the Batman where he played the Joker in like 1988 with Michael Keaton. It took them like 3 hours to do his makeup every time they would shoot.
Okay.
What they would do is they would tape all the Laker games. So when they were doing his makeup, he would watch the Laker games on tape. Think how different the world was back then, right? They would have it on a VHS tape where they tape it. Obviously, I'm sure they were shooting in Southern California because if they weren't, they wouldn't even be able to get the game to them fast enough, probably, right? So I would imagine they shot the thing in Southern California where the games were on, I would imagine, every game. But in 1988, is every Laker game on local TV? Because when we were like in late 90s, now again, it's the Kings and the Lakers. We did not have every Kings game on. Do you remember being a kid at Channel 31?
I do. I mean, listening to the book about the Lakers, they're still in the early 80s, but like the Lakers Celtics championship that the Lakers won with Magic playing center, or Lakers Sixers, sorry, not Lakers Celtics. That thing was tape delayed live on television. Like it wasn't live on TV. And that was the finals.
In 81?
In 81, yeah.
Yeah, Jack loves hoops.
So is Jack still around Laker game? I mean,
yeah.
Find other things to do, or
no? I think I saw him this year. I saw LeBron just tweeting about going to a baseball game. He's got nothing to do.
Yeah, I saw that too. Feels like nice weather.
Was he being sarcastic there or being serious? I can never tell.
I mean, he was being serious, I think, but I think, yeah,
I thought so too.
JB on the stream says, who called the brutal leg snap of the Louisville player in March Madness a decade ago?
Had to be Jim, right?
Yeah, well, it wasn't the final. I think that was in the Elite Eight, I think.
I thought it was like Louis. Again.
Was it in the Final Four? Oh, maybe it was on a race.
They were below.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I think could that have been the finals?
I'm reading a story about it right here. Regional final. So regional final would be the Final Four, right?
Okay.
The sight of his tibia bone protruding from the skin left Rick Pitino and teammates in tears. Kevin Ware was the guy. Magic won the championship in 80. Thank you. But I don't. Did they show replay? Yeah, I think it was controversial because maybe they did or they didn't show a replay. I don't remember exactly what the story was on that injury.
Did you see a couple of still shots of Tiger walking down and his ankle looks like it's at an angle?
No, I didn't. He looked uncomfortable. Well, what did you think of the week of Tiger this weekend?
I just think that he's in a lot of pain. He feels like he's grimacing. It doesn't feel like a sustainable thing. Like it's just the notion of he can put one round together. Like I'm as big of a fan as you'll find, but like he's not going to be able to win golf tournaments. Like I think it's very, very unrealistic because he might be able to put a round. Let's say he's on in a warm weather and shoot 68 or 7, right? And just be in the mix with all these guys for a round. His putter gets hot. I cannot see. I saw someone tweet. I had a similar, like I had my ankle shattered rod, and just because one of the famous media guy tweeted like, why did no one ask him about his, some question about his ankle or whatever, and this guy tweeted like, bottom line is I had something similar happen to me. I've had a rod. You never that's how you walk the rest of your life.
Gotcha. Yeah, that would be my question. Is like
he's not going to get a smoother gait.
So he's done with his rehabilitation.
I think he has to maintain it, but I don't think
it's always going to take an hour before and after to get the swelling out and all that kind of stuff. Or
remember Navarro?
Peter King wrote it, and Navarro later kind of denied, right, that it was as dramatic as Peter King said. But you're right, that was a severe leg injury.
Yeah, now it was cold, like that. That's it was unique weather for the Masters, right? Like it wasn't. It was sunny, but it clearly wasn't 90 degrees. I think the U.S. Open is in Mass. I think the PGA Championship's in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Is that that's Southern Hills? Is that?
And he's won there before. It should be hot.
But he said he might not. He doesn't know if he'll be able to play.
Yeah, I text someone that might be in the loop a little bit. He thought that he'd be shocked if he doesn't play all 4. He confirmed he's playing St. Andrews, right?
Yeah. Part of his interview was, I want to play Southern Hills. We'll see. Like, if I can.
Yeah. What if he can't move all week?
I think it feels like it's going to be kind of touch and go. It's going to be, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like this Masters experience again, right? Which is just like the week before Southern Hills. Tiger's trying. It's in a month. It's a month from now.
Seriously? Do you think
mid-May,
if Phil comes back, you could pair those two together?
I think that'd be great.
I do too.
I think that'd be fantastic.
I'd watch.
So, but why is the U.S. Open not coming up with him?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, we're talking about Southern Hills, the PGA Championship, and we're talking about St. Andrews. The U.S. Open's between those two. Is it assumed he is, or has he already said he's not playing the U.S. Open?
I kind of just assume that it's just such a brutal tournament. Why would he even want to mess with it?
Yeah. That was kind of my assumption too. But
or you could look at it; it might give him a better chance to compete because it kind of wipes a bunch of guys out. I guess you could look at it 2 ways.
Maybe.
By the way, like his over under every year moving forward is 4 tournaments, and if you get 4, it's all gravy. If you get 2, it's good.
If you get the Masters every year, that in and of itself would actually make it feel pretty incredible. If you only see Tiger play golf once or twice a year, right? And one of them is the Masters.
Yeah. Luckily, he's won all these, so he's grandfathered in. Because I do think he's like the 950th. He hasn't played in forever, so his world rankings. Like the only way you get into the Masters is be a top 50 player, or win a tournament,
or have won.
Or if you finish like Harry Higgs got in because he finished top 5 at last year's PGA Championship. Like there are a couple of those, right? If you finish top 5,
how about being a Masters champion?
Yeah, your grandfather did.
Yeah.
It's why like Larry Mize and Fred Couples, right?
Charles Schwartzel, who played well this week.
Yeah, Charles Schwartzel could still play a little bit. Like
I know, but he'd been playing bad.
Like Larry Mize. Should Larry Mize be still playing? But how do you blame him? Like he won it, so
absolutely he should still be playing. Come for the dinner. What's Scotty gonna have next year, huh?
Well, you think Texas barbecue, right?
That's something good.
Barbecue ribs.
Update on our DraftKings game from last week. Congrats to Alex Eber, who finished in first place.
How much money?
In the Ham DraftKings Masters, $805.05 for Alex.
Took our $40.
Yep. MJM finished second, $645. Mr. Marcus third, $483. Mr. Notgas fourth, $322. And down we go. I was talking to
we gave out some cash this week.
Yeah, I mean 10th place paid $128 on a $20 entry. So congrats.
I don't decent ROI. It's about 5x.
Where did you? Do you know? Let's see. I was
1/30th when I checked with like 3 holes left. My team sucked.
Did you get a bunch of guys miss the cut?
I had 2, but my other guys were so shitty. My best player was Lowry.
Oh,
Billy Horschel.
Well.
I mean, it's like
Horschel. Why you always take Horschel?
Well, because I mean, sometimes he has his moments.
He has one top 10, I think, in a major or something like that.
I know, but I just
And it was
thought
a
this
long time ago.
I thought this was his time. I saw the
His
same
top
thing with
10
Gary
was like
Woodland.
his second year on tour. He had a top 10 in a major.
Well,
And
part
that's
of
it.
my philosophy, and I'm going to stop doing this, is I try to zig when everyone's
I
zagging.
understand.
Like I
Should have
in
gone with
what-
Bryson then.
Well, in what world I that he was untouchable? Why would you, if you were like follow it even remotely, not take Scotty Scheffler this week? Right? He's the hottest player in the world, but I was like, I'm not taking Scotty Scheffler. No, it's too good to be true. The guy just fucking cruised on the Masters. Cruised.
You know what's funny is I'm just looking here. First place didn't have him. Second place, no. Third place, no. Fourth place, no.
Because don't you
Fifth
think
place.
the average person just had the philosophy of like, he's probably going to be an off week for him.
He was also the most expensive player, I think, this week.
Was he?
Yeah, like him or
Yeah, I got Rahm was up there.
because I took Rahm. Scotty. So 3.9% of people had Scotty in this game. Yeah, that's low.
I feel like Rahm's gotten a little bigger walking next to Tiger. The guy, I'm
A
watching
little
him next to
squirrely, I'll
Tiger.
tell you
I'm
that.
thinking, one guy was in a hospital bed for 3 months. Somehow, I text Hunter Mahan. I was like, "What is Tiger's diet? Like, when you were on tour, do you ever hear anything like around it?" He said one thing he was very serious about, like getting blood drawn to know exactly what to eat because he's so into like health and fitness and working out that he'll lose weight fast. So he has to eat. Like, I think Tiger eats a lot of the right foods, but
Yeah.
his calorie intake is not low. Like me, I try to keep it low. Tiger needs to keep it high or he would get skinny. He would lose all his mass. But how disciplined he is. Rahm, who's just been up and at him, been the number one player, looks like he's getting chubbier. He's 20 years younger. Tiger, his upper body does look fantastic, doesn't it? Like, how did he not gain weight?
He looks. I think you and I were talking about this the other day. I would, to use a sports writer term, marvel at his He hasn't had to adjust his pants in 20 years. I mean,
And
he got kind of jacked.
But he's been bedridden several times over that period.
I know. It's crazy. Maybe in the middle he's lost a bunch of weight. We haven't seen him, but maybe he's just fucking in the bed. But he's got a bunch of back surgery, so it's not like he's just been bench pressing for the last 10 years.
Now it's not like he can go on jogs. Like what is he doing? To me, I was thinking about this. Tom Brady has made millions of dollars, right? Pushing his like avocado ice cream. He's told everyone what he does, whether you agree with it or not. We all make fun of it. He's told everyone. Tiger, guy kind of came out of nowhere like 10 days ago that he was going to play in this tournament, let alone what the hell he's been doing. He doesn't tell a soul. I was telling you before we hopped on, can you imagine all like Bryson? I mean, we have a YouTube channel, but like those guys love like starting YouTube channels. They think like they're quote unquote brand, which I don't blame them. Bryson gets a lot of views. Again, we do the same thing, so I'd be a hypocrite. Can you imagine if Tiger just did a YouTube channel where like once a month, just like an NFL style montage video of just what he's doing? Like how many people would watch that? It'd be fascinating, but he doesn't. He would never do that. One, but two, I want to know what the fuck's going on. Like, what's he doing?
Yeah. Well, he says things like, and I watched this Jim Nantz interview he did before the CBS telecast took over at 11, and he was talking about. And I saw this video today. Did you see the video today of him talking to the Stanford football team before their game at UCF like 3 years ago? Did you happen to see that?
No, I mean I remember that.
David Shaw went on
he's buddies with him, right?
Eisen this week and like mentioned that when they were at UCF a few years ago, Tiger came to the game, talked to the team before the game. So Stanford put out the video a few days ago. Well, Tiger didn't just come to the game. And I was talking to my buddy Ryan McGrady, who works at Stanford. He said that David did not tell the team who was going to talk to them pregame. And he just told the team, like, I get text messages from people all over the country, like the who's who, like Condoleezza Rice, like all these people. They want to know how you guys are doing. In fact, somebody who wants to check on you, who checks on you guys all the time, is here today. And Tiger walks through the door wearing a Home of Champions Stanford t-shirt.
Badass.
And KJ Costello goes, "Oh shit, it's the fucking GOAT." That part was not in the video, but he was the quarterback at Stanford at the time.
Like they did the double doors in the locker room.
Yeah, I don't know. That part wasn't in the video. I don't know. But Tiger just walks in. Tiger's got a backpack with him. He's like, "I've dedicated my life to being great at golf. I have sacrificed everything to be the greatest golfer I could be. And I've reaped the benefits of it." And he unzips his backpack and he pulls out a green jacket, and the play starts going nuts. And he's like, "Coach Shaw, come over here." And he puts the jacket on. David Shaw, he puts it on, puts his arms through it. And 8 seconds, David, he like has to get it off. It feels to him like there's
I shouldn't wear
skin is
this.
crawling. Like I should not be wearing this jacket, And then they went they got their
Did he put the jacket in a backpack?
in a bag. It was like rolled out of a backpack. It was hilarious. Just crumpled up the way you would put a hoodie back there on your way to a weekend trip.
Stanford lose that game?
They got killed because remember Gabriel Davis roasted them.
The dude on the Bills?
Yes, the dude on the Bills roasted them that day.
I mean, UCF, in fairness, UCF's pretty good, right?
Yeah, it turned out they were good.
Yeah.
And Stanford got better as the year went along. But the point is that Tiger
were they like in their pads? Was it like pregame?
Yeah, it was pregame. He says stuff in the Nance thing I watched today too. That's just basically what he's saying is I do whatever I push my body to the limit. I'm willing to do what it takes. But like you said, like we don't even. What does that mean exactly?
Did Ray Lewis pissed off for greatness? Wasn't he talking to Stanford basketball NIT?
Yeah, it was Stanford. It was Stanford pregame.
Yeah. They got some pretty good talkers.
Pissed off for greatness.
That was good. NIT. Tigers. I'm gonna have to make a note and go watch that.
Yeah, Stanford football tweeted it this week.